Hello, race fans, and welcome to the beautiful, sunny shores of Daytona. We are live here for the SCL Winston Cup Series 40th season, and this season's going to look a little bit different. We're going to have some more open races. We're going to have some more drivers joining us here that haven't potentially raced with us before. But before we get into all that, I'm Liam Irvig, joined up in the booth by Colin McDonough. Colin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Liam. I'm looking forward to this. It's an interesting dynamic to see an open, hosted session that, open drivers can come into freely. Get to see some new names.
Yeah, that's going to make for some interesting times for some of our series regulars. Such as Justin Lewis, Andrew Polici, Todd Merkel. These guys all qualified up in the top 10, but they're going to have their hands full for the first little while here. At Daytona International Speedway, it's an 87-degree day, or 87-degree track temperature, 78 degrees today. Relative humidity is 43%, but not a cloud in the sky, only 6-mile-an-hour winds, so don't expect that to affect the handling of these drivers very much. These guys just finished up a qualifying session. Let's go ahead and show you qualifying results. Actually, let's get that better up in grid form. Austin Call is going to be on the pole here at Daytona. Maxwell Caldwell to his outside. Then we've got Justin Lewis, Chris Gutierrez, followed by Adam Lowe and Samuel Litchfield making his series debut. Andrew Polici, Ronnie Hurst, Brandon Cournoyer, and Todd Merkel rounding out your top 10. Went ahead and skipped on Josh Yarborough and Jason Crumley. They are no less important. Just skip that row. Andrew McKenzie and Chase Dixon. We've got Adam Brady and Eric Tomlich. Name you haven't probably seen before here. Trevor Dalton and Joseph Klein make up row number 9, with Tyler Melton and Corey Bragg rounding out your top 20 here today. Carolus Thiel and Michael Matta make up row number 11, with Daniel Holdcroft and Jonathan Casebeard rounding out your top 24. Finishing out the field, we've got Mark Brown, Sam Maddox and Dennis Kane, Logan Gill. See my name up in there. That is, well, I'm not going to be on the track. I'm up here, boys. That is your starting order here at Daytona. Just a couple of extra moments for the grid while these guys get through the drivers' meeting. Again, like we mentioned, there's going to be some new faces out here. So a lot of guys getting the rundown for the very first time. A lot of guys getting it for maybe the 100th, but nonetheless, important to go through before every race just to make sure everybody's on the same page, Colin.
Drivers' meetings, as much as they may feel redundant for drivers that show up every week, they are so very important, Liam.
Yeah, and especially when you've got, the potential for new drivers coming up in here, and you want to make sure everybody's on the same page, everything's right, especially at a track like Daytona where communication is key.
Yeah, that's an important one. It's far too easy to make a simple mistake and error at Daytona that really can affect everyone's race.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in the Cup Series at Daytona. William Byron wins the Daytona 500 because one guy gets too close, there's a bit of a mistake up in front of him, and all of a sudden he scoots through on the outside. Luckiest man coming out of mid-Florida.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to be running, P10 on the last lap and end up finishing first, just because something happens down the backstretch and you manage to get through all the smoke.
And that's just the thing about Daytona. I mean, the cream of the crop always rises to the top, but you never know how things are going to go. Realistically, if you're here at the end, you've got a chance at it. So there's going to be a lot of different mentalities here today. We've got 50% fuel in these cars, so can't imagine they're going to be able to go more than 25 laps on a tank of gas. They've got one faster pair, which can be very good or very bad if you have to use it early. These guys getting ready to start up the season number 40. Pace truck takes that hard left turn. Austin Call waits for the green flag. Green flag is out, and we are underway here in Daytona. Inside lane stays together coming up off of turn number 2. That's going to give Austin Call the lead. He's clear of that top lane, and it looks like the inside lane is forming up better and better. Justin Lewis going to get clear getting into turn number 3, followed by the 58 of Adam Lowe. Maxwell Caldwell not getting the first lap that he wanted. Now a little bit of separation. Caldwell able to get down in line in 4th place. Quite possible that the 81 behind him of Andrew Polici let him get up in there.
It looked like Jason Crumley hung back at the start just a little bit, and I think that was probably a wise strategy if you're around drivers you're not familiar with, to just give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Make sure everybody gets settled into place.
Yeah, Jason Crumley, you see him back here, currently being scored in 16th after the first lap, lost 4 positions. However, sitting right here up on the top. Got himself a good vantage point for if something were to happen in front of him.
Ooh, and we're already looking 3 wide up ahead.
3 wide coming up off of turn number 4. To the inside goes the 06. Trying to get all the way to the bottom. That's Chris Gutierrez up on the top. Andrew Polici getting shoved out. You see that 12 gold and black car trying to squirt through the middle. That's Samuel Litchfield, driver we haven't seen before in this series, driving the NASCAR Technical Institute. He's joining us for the first time. Got the top 5, though, up front. They have separated themselves by almost a second as Adam Lowe and Chris Gutierrez stay side by side. Lowe is able to get out front of the inside lane, but these guys starting to lose some time over this top 5. If they don't get it single file and start chasing them down, that could be significant moving on. See some snaking around in all 3 lines, both the first one up front and both of these side by side lines.
Yeah, the pack's going to have to get organized if they want to stay in touch with that 5-car breakaway.
Very sketchy
really
moment for that
easy.
Travelers Whiskey Chevrolet up on the top. He had a bump there from the number 22 Flash Machine. Got him squirrely, but kept the gas in it. These guys continuing to lose time on the race leaders, though. Joshua Yarbrough and running in 5th place. He's enjoying watching those cars get smaller and smaller. Go ahead and show you the intervals here as we are going to complete our 4th lap of the race. Almost a second and a half between 5th and 6th place. Now Adam Lowe is able to get in front of those double file lines behind him. A big push from Litchfield. These guys might be able to start closing back in on the top 5 here. Joshua Yarbrough, the 5th car in line up front, just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 46.11. Although I would imagine these guys with the tow are going to start inching closer to that 45-second mark.
Yeah, it's going to be close, Liam. I mean, once you get about a second out in these cars, you tend to fall off the draft, but it looks like that low line in the pack is really starting to get organized and wants to catch back up.
Yeah, that gap is definitely starting to shrink. It's now a second between packs. I would imagine it'll be roughly a lap before Adam Lowe in the 58 gets to the back bumper of Joshua Yarbrough. If not, starts making the move to get to his outside. This guy's running just a couple mile an hour faster. Not a huge amount, 3 or 4, but it's consistent around this whole racetrack. And now they've got a group of 5 that's kind of breaking apart from another side-by-side group.
Yeah, Liam, this is interesting to see that 5 cars getting singled out and they just start driving away from the rest of the field. Looks like once you find somebody to link up with, you can really pull away.
Justin Lewis moves up to the top of the racetrack, potentially getting hot up in the front, doing all that pushing. So he's gonna fall back. You see Andrew Polici, he was able to get down to the bottom, get into the single file lane, and it really disrupted the flow of the outside. You see Ronnie Hurst trying to make a move here on the outside. He's got a push from car number 77, Adam Brady, but they don't really have a lot of help behind them. Next car back there is the 23 of Tyler Melton, and well, he's got some help behind him. There's just too much gap between him and the 77 to be able to close in. And now you see the 77 drops down to the inside. Another hammer, another, hate to be Marty Reed here, but another.
Ooh, an interesting dynamic just happened. Justin Lewis fell back to the pack and got a big shove forward.
Oh, whoa, problems there.
Oh,
23
trouble.
Set down to the inside. He's going to save it, though. He might not even lose the draft. We'll see.
That was a handy piece of driving right there.
Yeah, he might lose the draft here. He's got some more speed to gain there. 10, 12 mile an hour faster than he is.
It looks like our lead group has finally been caught.
Yes, they have. Here comes Adam Lowe up on the top side. He's got help, but not much of it. Sam Litchfield up on the top side.
Oh, trouble further back.
Big crash here. Up, riding the fence is the 66 of Sam Maddox. The 13 Miller Lite car involved as well. That's Corey Bragg. And upside down is the 66. I believe Tyler Melton. Well, no, he didn't get involved. I think he got through it. Damage there on Joseph Klein's machine. Dennis Kane straight into the pits. A couple of other drivers caught up in this affair, but let's go ahead and take a look to see what brings out our first caution of the race here on lap number 8. I believe it happens up in front. Oh, no.
Oh, a little further back.
It was back here. We'll start with Corey Bragg. Oh, he got turned by the 2, I believe, and right back up the racetrack.
Yeah, not much he could have done there.
See, down the back straightaway. Oh, he tries to come down a little bit. Merkel, he was there, and then once he came back up the racetrack, he clipped the 30. Put the 66 up on his lid. Not a whole lot anybody could do after that when a car comes right back up the racetrack.
Looking like a lot of pit stops happening now under caution. And Tyler Melton is going to be the huge beneficiary from this one because he fell off the draft earlier on.
Yeah, he was able to get through that. I mean, obviously he showed up kind of at the tail end, but see a lot of field-only stops. It's looking like Trevor Dalton missed his pit stall, so he's going to inherit the race lead, but for how long? Austin Call wins the race off pit road. Maxwell Caldwell, Adam Lowe, Samuel Litchfield, Justin Lewis, Joshua Yarbrough, Andrew McKenzie, Chris Gutierrez, and Carolus Thiel round out our top 10. See if Trevor Dalton comes back in this time around. And again, with these smaller fuel cells, the 50% fuel rate, these guys are going to want to pit almost every caution that they can. You want to prolong that green flag stop as long as you possibly can, because you risk losing a lap here, especially if you can't find a partner to come in with and stay with them when you come out.
Yeah, Liam, that's the worst feeling, is making pit stops and not being able to link up with someone. Just knowing that there's really nothing you can do to catch back up.
And these next-gen cars, they are just so draggy, I feel like it's really tough when you pull out a line without any help to make a slingshot work. In some of the older cars, you could get a nice run up on somebody, you can make the slingshot work, but in this car, it seems like once you get out of line, your whole car is just a parachute, and then everybody behind you is just going to suck up to that car on your inside. As you see Trevor Dalton, he is going to come in and take fuel. Missed his pit stall the first time around. This time should be a little bit easier without the competition. But unfortunately, he's going to lose all of that track position that he worked so hard to get in the first 10 laps of this race.
You know, and you mentioned track position, but this early on into an 80-lap event, I think track position's great if you want to stay out of trouble, but you really never know what's going to happen. And the moment a caution comes out, even if you are at the front, pit stops change everything.
They absolutely do. And I mean, when these guys get to running side by side like they do, especially towards the end of this thing when they know they're good on fuel, it's going to be tough to make up track position. It's going to be really tough to work your way up through these lines because they're going to be so even. They're going to be side drafting each other so hard. There's just not going to be a lot of movement. So, I mean, these guys, they want to get these pit stops done early and often. And, you know, if it comes down to a green flag pit stop, you want to have your friends with you and your enemies as far away as possible.
It looks like the 13 of Corey Bragg, he's been moved to the back of the field for his involvement in that incident.
Yeah,
so the only people behind him are the two that just stopped for fuel again.
When it comes to the 13, we only saw it from out front, so we're not sure if you maybe got a clear call, but yeah, when you move down the racetrack and spin off of somebody's front bumper, it's just not a good time for anybody, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good time there. But he's able to use that fast repair, get back out here, and along with the 30, the 22, and I believe the 99 of Dennis Kane. Sam Maddox, however, he's going to be one lap down. So pace truck makes that hard left turn once again. Austin Call gets into the restart zone and is a go here for the second time at Daytona. A little bit more of a gap than you might want here. Here comes the 94 with a huge run. He's going to stay right behind, and around goes the 0-1. Caution's going to come out once again. Todd Merkel's involved. Careless Theo was the first one sideways. Joseph Klein down on the inside. Heavy damage there to the 2 of Todd Merkel, but the caution is out right away.
That's just one of the downsides of restarts is people start to jockey for position. If one line doesn't get going, you want to get down to the other one or get up to the high side, whatever it may be. It's a lot of movement.
Yeah, that 0-1 just... You have to take another look, but looks like Theo came down the racetrack and got turned around. Do like our blimp cam here. Yeah, there was a hole there for a second, but that was too late to try to get in there. Great driving there by the 27 or 24 on screen, Joseph Klein. Another driver got in here with that 24, so scores it a little bit different. That's that 24 of Chase Dixon. I believe also making his series debut. The caution is out for the second time here today. Keep you guys updated on if people come in and top off, but we're going to go ahead and step side by side. Be right back with some more racing action. Back live here at Daytona. Caution out for the second time here today, working lap number 14. These guys ran 8 laps before the first one. A couple cars got taken out going into turn number 3. Got the restart and another quick caution. Puts us behind that iRacing safety truck once again. Wholesale pit stops under the first caution flag of the race. Not so many this second time around. We did have a few drivers elect to come in and get service. Todd Merkel was one of those caught up in the crash. Maxwell Caldwell, Adam Brady, Ronnie Hurst, Austin Call came in for service as well from up front. Chris Gutierrez is in at the moment along with Maxwell Caldwell. As these guys take one to green, it will be a single file restart due to the fact that these guys did not complete a green flag lap before the caution flag came out. So these guys are going to restart in single file. And Colin, what does that do for the mindset of this restart? Does that change up how you're feeling? Is that any concern to you at all?
It's interesting that single file restarts can either help or hinder, and it really depends on the mindset of the drivers. So you can get a really big run in a single file restart if you leave it a little bit of a gap, but unless you know who's behind you and unless you have help, it's really hard to predict whether or not you're going to be able to get back up to the front. So usually it's a much safer, cleaner restart, but you also don't want to get out of line in these cars and go to the high side if you're going alone, because it's like throwing a parachute out. You're just going to get sucked to the back of the field.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a little bit longer for these packs to formulate on this restart here. Just another quick update. With that quick caution, Sam Maddox went from upside down to back on the lead lap. He's going to be restarting in 22nd. Right now we've got Adam Lowe, Samuel Litchfield, Justin Lewis, Andrew McKenzie, Joshua Yarborough, then Andrew Polici, Brandon Cornier, Eric Talmadge, Chase Dixon, and Mark Brown rounding out the top 10. Pace Truck has made that hard left turn. These guys are getting ready to get at it once again into the Geico restart zone. And a huge push there from second place. These guys are going to stay a little bit better formulated than that last restart.
Oh, and there's some trouble further back. Car down to the apron. It looks like there was a little bit of pushing and shoving going on further back.
Potentially somebody missing a shift. We'll take a look at that in just a few moments. Three wide down the back here. Adam Lowe continues to lead. Jump back to Trevor Dalton. Was in that 3 wide battle. These guys starting to separate a little bit. 6 cars behind the rest of the packs. Todd Merkel trying to work his way back up to the front very quickly here, but he sees the separation between Klein and the guys in front of him. Joseph Klein slid through the grass to avoid that last incident, but did not attain any damage, so he stays out. Now he's going to get passed by the 30 car up on the outside.
Yeah, one of the drawbacks of that single file restart is when you have a little bit of trouble further back, if the lead cars can stay single filed, they'll get a big gap on the pack further back. And it looks like there's about almost 2 seconds between those two packs right now.
We appreciate Buck Duck jumping up in the stream, rooting for his buddy Litchfield. We appreciate you tuning in here. Well, he's been doing himself a good job so far, making his series debut here, and sitting in second place. It's got to feel pretty good for him. Adam Lowe right now, he's been the one to focus on. He was drafting really well early on in the race.
Trouble. Caution's out again. Corey Bragg is in the wall and turn between 1 and 2.
Caution out now for the 3rd time. Corey Bragg caught up in another that looks like some right front damage, like you mentioned. made some wall contact. Oh.
Man.
Wow. Dennis Kane. What a moment there. But yeah, it looked like he was just trying to split through the middle around that 30. Came down before he was clear, and yeah, he makes contact with the 27, and he's trying to get around as quick as possible, and the 30 might have come up a touch. The 13 might have been moving around with the instability. We're going to have to take an onboard, though, with the 99. Looks like he does get a piece of it, but that is
A lot of cars did a great job to avoid that one.
Wow. That was close.
That was really close, Liam. I'm surprised that there wasn't contact there. It's one of those moments you hold on tight and hope for the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he took an extended pit stop to change his drawers. Pit stops up front. Litchfield, Yarborough, Crumley, Hurst, Dixon, Merkel, Caldwell, Brady, Gutierrez, Dalton, Klein, Melton. Thiel's back in as well. Logan Gill in the 30. Still trying to limp it back around. There's damage on that race car, and obviously given that first accident, Logan doesn't have a fast repair to fall back on.
That's a really tough break for Logan Gill.
I mean, this is Daytona. Doesn't look like that thing is torn up too bad. Obviously, the right front toe link is bouncing around. That's going to take some time to repair. But you go a couple laps down here, it's not the end of your race, especially when we've got 60 laps to go out of 80.
No, I'm definitely of the mindset to, go get your car fixed however long it takes, and then get back out on track and see what happens.
There's Thiel just coming up off of the pits. Holdcroft still getting some damage, and I believe I incorrectly said something was Todd Merkel earlier looking at this car of Daniel Holdcroft, so I do apologize for my misinformation earlier. Todd Merkel is also in a yellow car, but it is not a Menards car. There's that Merkel machine.
Ah, there it is. The Nesquik machine.
It's Merkel racing engines. But it does look very similar.
Oh my goodness. Liam, that paint scheme had me fooled.
It's a good one.
That is a good one.
It's also, the same sponsor on the front end of that number 7 up on the outside. With a couple other drivers here, I believe that 81 might have Merkel on it too.
Man, that number 2 car is a good-looking machine.
A lot of good-looking machines out in this field. But the one everyone's looking at is that Traveler's Whiskey Chevy Camaro. Adam Lowe leads the race. Got Justin Lewis to his outside, Andrew Polici, Andrew McKenzie, and Austin Call, making him the only driver in the top 5 whose name does not start with an A.
Those are the facts we're after.
Brendan Cornoyer, Eric Talmadge, Mark Brown, Dennis Kane, and Samuel Litchfield comes out of the pits to take 10th place. After that, we've got Chase Dixon, Tyler Melton, Todd Merkel, Adam Brady, Ronnie Hurst, Maxwell Caldwell, Trevor Dalton, Joshua Yarborough, Sam Maddox, and Joseph Klein in the top 20. Jason Crumley, Daniel Holdcroft, Chris Gutierrez, and Carolus Thiel round out your lead lap drivers. Corey Bragg went one down, getting repairs done, and Logan Gill still on pit lane. Actually, it's quite possible Logan Gill has packed up and gone home.
It's a little miscommunication further back.
The base truck makes one more left turn. Why don't you take us away, Colin?
A green flag is out, and Lowe is going to take you away. And a great restart. Oh my goodness. The 18 car in tow of Austin Call. It looks like they're going to be in really good shape to make moves and get away from the rest of the pack.
Justin Lewis getting all up on the rear bumper. That 81 trying to push him up to the outside. Finally gets to the outside of Adam Lowe, and they're going to have a nice run coming down the back straightaway. We'll see. They move down to the bottom of the racetrack. This 18 is going to follow them down. That's Austin Call. Everybody ditching the 58 to drop down in front of him, but that's going to give him the tow getting into turn 3.
I didn't expect that turn of events on that restart. Looks like Felicia, Lewis, and Call might have had something communicated before that start happened. They knew exactly what they were going to do together.
Yeah, they might have had a little chat under the yellow flag. Just see the true speed of these cars moving on a 2.5-mile racetrack such as Daytona. Beautiful angles here, both on the wall, on the track. Here's that NASCAR on Fox Gopher cam. You remember that little cartoon guy that they had?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness,
wow,
somebody just shot down pit road. Not quite sure what happened there.
Spreads the field out a little bit. We'll get on that in just a moment. We'll wait for a moment for these guys to kind of settle down.
Looks like that was Brendan Cornoyer. That was maybe a bad bump. He
tried to. Yeah, I hate to say, I mean, there's that iRacer's instant reaction to try to jump back onto the racetrack because you don't want to get that unsafe pit entry. 9 times out of 10, I think a guy's just going to go down there. He might lift down pit road as there's a little bit of a checkup with the 23 on the bottom side. I think most guys, if they could, they would have just stayed in it. You know, back 20 years ago, I think Carl Edwards did that. Got turned out of the inside. He stayed in it in the truck race and blended up at the back of the pack. He lost a couple spots, but
yeah, and these Gen 7 cars are just they don't like to be overcorrected. If you make that correction when you get turned a little bit, these cars tend to snap real easily. So, you know, taking that trip down pit road, it's a less of a risk than potentially putting yourself in the outside wall.
Oh, absolutely. I would much rather spin myself down to the pit lane, or not even spin, but risk a moment down there that potentially ruin other people's races and damage my car more than my crew can handle. I mean, it's only 25 laps in. I don't want to use that faster gear if I don't have to. Ideally, I would have saved that thing for the green-white checker, and even then, I still don't want to have to use it.
Yeah, with only one of those being in your pocket, you want to use it as a last case scenario.
He's heating up front. We've got a move for the lead. Here comes Polisi down to block it. Lewis and Polisi went up to the top of the racetrack with McCall to try to stop that topside run that allowed the inside lane to get another run. Now Polisi moves down to block it. They're side by side for the lead. Justin Lewis has taken the lead. Justin Lewis is clear for the lead down the back straightaway. What a run up on this top side.
Yeah, the top side really got working real well together. Let's see if Lewis decides to come back down.
Right now he's holding on to that top side. McCall is clear if he wants it as well. They could get back into that little trio that they had working, but here comes Polisi back down on the inside for second. The inside lane going to be the shorter way around, but that outside just holds so much more momentum. And as these guys start to wear down their tires, I know it's Daytona, I know it might not seem like it means a lot, but they're going to be able to keep that momentum going better on the outside than they are on the inside. A little bit of a bump there going to the back bumper of Polisi from the 06. Kind of a
We got a lap
moment.
car ahead. Looks like Bragg that they're going to be coming up on.
Yeah, Corey Bragg, he's going to stay. Looks like he's going to try to stay to the bottom of the track. He's going to get tight through the tri-oval. This is one of the worst places to catch up to a lapped car. He's staying above that yellow line. He does have every right to. He's on the racing surface trying to make race pace. Some of the drivers might be frustrated that he didn't just make it easy for them, but in the end, everybody makes it through okay. The outside lane still working like a charm. It looks like one guy got up into the outside wall coming up off of 2. Might have been Eric Talmadge. No, it was not him. It's the 77, Adam Brady. 17, Joshua Yarbrough, in front of it. My apologies there.
They're 5 cars further back looking to work together and try to catch back up to the field. Not sure what caused the separation. It may have been that trip down pit road.
Well, I think some of these guys were just kind of stuck at the back of the pack and maybe lost the draft, found each other, but we definitely saw what happened with that 55 going down pit lane.
Yeah, if these guys can all work together, they can reel in the pack.
It's going to be tough, but they are just a little bit faster. Side by side up front for the race lead, and once again, Yarbrough gets right up next to that wall at the back of this pack, but Justin Lewis gets a nice push from Austin Call. He's got himself a nice run getting into turn number 1. 30 laps complete this time around. Justin Lewis trying to get home. Trying to lead that 80th one, but
Now might not be the best time for me to mention it, but Justin Lewis pit on lap 9. So he's going to be close on fuel.
that is something to consider. We have had a few caution laps in between, but Justin Lewis, he might be looking to pit within the next 5 or so. And along with him, we got the 58 of Adam Lowe, Andrew Polisi in the 81, Andrew McKenzie, Mark Brown as well, Eric Talmadge, Dennis Kane. That's all the drivers in the lead pack. Brendan Cornwire is in the same boat, but everybody behind him pit under the last caution.
Yeah, that's not what that 55 car wants to know. That's a tough break right there. Looks like Todd Merkel is falling off the back. I'm not sure what happened to Todd.
Yeah, he is struggling all by himself right now. Not too far from going a lap down. But another thing to mention here is that Justin Lewis, he's been up front for a lot of time here. He's been leading his line. He's been leading this pack. It's got to burn a lot more fuel, wouldn't you say?
It burns a ton more fuel. In the position that he's in as far as his last pit stop, I don't envy where he's sitting on track. And he's going to need to communicate with the cars behind whether or not he has to take a trip down pit road.
Yeah, and
And he's going to have to
wanna
hope
convey
that
that
he's got
message.
a few friends.
Well, it looks like Polishi's coming in. These guys, a lot of guys coming in. Locks up. 58. Is he going to get the cone? I don't know if he's on there on time. He took the cone with him. That might be a penalty. 9 drivers coming into pit. 06 has to check up in the entirety of that second pack coming into pit as well. Hurst is going to take over the race lead.
Liam, I'll be honest with you. I did not expect that many cars to come down pit road right there.
You know, I wonder if they were talking on the driver chat saying, hey, you know what? We may as well just try to strategize together. We're better off together than we are alone. I believe 13 drivers came into pit that time. We'll see if the rest of the pack comes in. Well, we got 2.
Ooh.
Hurst and Dixon come in this time. Dixon, that Mobile 1 number 24 Toyota Camry in the JM group for that Chevy Camaro. Maxwell Caldwell takes over the race lead. Another Merkel Racing Chevy Camaro being pushed by Samuel Litchfield. He's got that NASCAR Technical Institute Ford Mustang. Quaker State
Speaking of
Chevy
Maxwell
just behind him.
Caldwell, being in a Merkel machine, they are coming up on Todd Merkel right now, so he may end up. Todd Merkel may be able to hop on the tail end of this 5-car group if they don't come down pit road.
Well, these guys, they all came in on lap 19 and lap 20. So they're going to have about maybe 10 more laps that they could run, 8 more laps. And you were absolutely right in the fact that Caldwell was going to be a friend to Merkel there. He said, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to pass you. I'm just going to... Oh, we've got one sideways coming up off of the pits. Jason Crumley is going to keep it straight.
That could have been disastrous for your lead group.
It really could have, but now Maxwell Caldwell has somebody in front of him that he can kind of let up, save a little bit more fuel with.
Yeah, this is a great strategy for Caldwell. To be able to push someone you know that isn't fighting for position with you. And he also, if the caution does come out, keeps Todd Merkel in a position to get a wave around.
Or better yet, he just stays on the lead lap. He is on the lead lap as of right now. If he were to get passed by Caldwell, that would change. But right now, he is in the best spot that he could be, especially given the fact that these guys are kind of driving away from those 4 behind. I wonder if they're maybe trying to get a little bit more fuel saving done as well.
Yeah, green flag pit stops. They always really shake things up as far as everyone's strategy goes.
Take a look at some of these last lap times. 46.43, 46.48 for the next 2. No, I don't think these guys are really saving fuel.
Adam Brady is in P6 all by himself.
He's got a little
And
ways
he's got
back to...
3 cars behind him that he's probably just hoping and praying catch up to him, that he can hop on board with that ride.
Yeah, I wonder if he's maybe trying to... I wouldn't say he's really slowing down for him, but as we take a look at some of the speed differential, there's 13 mile an hour difference. Adam Brady goes into this corner at 177. These guys, just 3 of them pushing together. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're doing really good at this push. This little trio train. They entered in at over 190 miles an hour. Gaining a lot of time on Adam Brady, and these guys right behind him, Ronnie Hurst, they're gaining time on them.
Yeah, these next gen cars are really a strength in numbers kind of vehicle. If you can get Like 3 is good, but 5 is better.
Yeah, I heard a lot of talk in Daytona around the 500 saying that 8 was kind of that perfect number to come in and pit with. When you've got a smaller field size than you do in the 500, you know, obviously they've got 41 cars that started that race, and here we had 26 drivers take the green flag. 8 gets to be a little bit much. You can get away with 5 or 6. That's going to be a little bit more beneficial. That's kind of what you're seeing out of this lead group here. They've got 5 drivers ready to roll here whenever it's time to pit. And Adam Brady, he's come into the pits. He's got some front end damage here. He might be looking to get some of that repaired.
Yeah, and if you have front end damage and you're driving by yourself, it's a sinking feeling.
Well, the top 5 have come into the pits along with the 2 of Todd Merkel. Justin Lewis should stand to inherit the race lead. But we'll see what kind of lap times these guys were able to put down while they were leading, if that's going to be enough to hold on to the lead. A lot of them already done with their service. Coming up off of turn number 4 is Justin Lewis. Here, these guys come up off of the pit lane. Lewis through
I think they're I think that lead group is doing exactly what I expected. They're putting Todd Merkel back on the front.
They are. We'll see what kind of run they can get. They're coming up on the flat. They're not going to be able to get a lot of speed. Expect Lewis to be able to make an easy pass for the lead coming up off of turn number 2. These guys get lined up. They might be able to get in between these 2 groups. Trevor Dalton, he's going to get hung out to dry. He's going to fall to the back of this group. See if he can try to jump in at the end. Ronnie Hurst moves to the outside, trying to bring all of his friends with him. Up to the top goes the 23 of Tyler Melton. To the bottom of the racetrack goes the 24. Melton gonna kind of help shuffle Ronnie Hurst out of there. Hurst moves back down in front of Adam Lowe. Todd Merkel still leading this group. However, he is 1 lap down to the top 3. Justin Lewis, Austin Call, and Andrew Polici, who are about a 1.5 seconds in front of this group, although that is shrinking by the minute. Just past halfway here in Daytona. Pit stops taking place. Multiple different strategies throughout the course of this one.
Yeah, this group is gonna... I think they will make quick work of those 3 cars ahead of them. But that 3-car break of Lewis, Call, and Polici, they are doing a great job of sticking right on each other's bumpers and, you know, making that 3-car pack as slippery as possible.
They are, but now we are getting into a point where that gap is about a second, maybe a little bit less now. The drivers behind are going to start getting the tow. Huge pushes up front, not allowing those guys to get that tow. 197 miles an hour on entry into turns 3 and 4 for your top 3. Just pushing each other. They've gained another 10th here, and I was getting ready to say these guys are about to get the tow, but if they keep pushing like that, they might be able to keep their destiny in their own hands.
They are just outside of that draft. It's just enough of a gap that I can't quite catch it.
Look at that gap down the back straightaway. And Polici's actually backed off a little bit. Try to potentially cool his engine. This is going to allow that second group to close back in. But it's already 1.4 seconds between 3rd and 4th place. It was as close as 1 second. Things starting to get side by side in this pack back here as well. Mark Brown moving down to the bottom of Ronnie Hurst. That's going to create some separation.
At this stage in the race, I wouldn't be too inclined to go too wide unless you actually want to drop back a bit. if you're trying to cool yourself off or what it may be. But staying streamlined in single file is really key at this point in the race.
Justin Lewis holds on to the race lead. Looks like we had ourselves a lap car getting through there. That was Adam Brady in the 77. Getting passed by your race leaders.
And Adam Brady might be crucial for Mark Merkel right here.
Gives him a little bit of a tow, but Caldwell is able to get away from the rest of those guys. You start to drop back down to the bottom. See if Merkel's going to be able to get that draft. Here comes Chris Gutierrez trying to make something happen there in that flash machine. Lap 47 out of 80.
Sure, Adam Brady is in good spirits now, knowing that he's got the draft again. Even if he's further back in the running order, just to be in the draft and try to stay on whatever lap you are currently on in relation to the leaders is a pretty wonderful feeling.
Yeah, but those top three, they are pulling away. And when they're not pulling away, they're staying stationary. This is impressive stuff out of this group.
Yeah, the lead three have posted a top speed of 202, whereas that group further back, you're seeing 200 even, 199. So the top three have done a phenomenal job sticking together and just maintaining that gap.
I tell you what, it might be just about over as Caldwell is starting to close in. These guys have to make a switch up front. Justin Lewis is going to lose the lead to Austin Call. That's going to allow these two, maybe three, well, three wide up there for the lead for a second, but that's going to allow everybody to catch up.
Yeah, there it goes. This will really shake things up.
Well, Polishi holds on to the race lead, but Call is going to drop all the way back. These guys should all have at least one more pit stop to make. Can't imagine anybody's going to have to come in a second time. I would imagine those pit stops to start anywhere from probably 58 to 65. Here comes Lewis up to the top. He's going to drop back. So is Polishi. That's going to put Merkel out front. Again, he's not the race leader. Maxwell Caldwell is going to inherit the race lead just behind him. Todd Merkel.
I think that's exactly what they wanted to do, was get Todd Merkel back on the front of this thing.
Todd Merkel staying on the lead lap, but just barely as we come to 30 laps to go. He's going to need a caution flag to get him back around. He's not going to be able to do it by himself or really even with drafting help. Everybody up front getting single file, trying to make it so that second group can't get up to him. It's going to be Andrew McKenzie, Ronnie Hurst, Joseph Klein. And then Adam Lowe is in there, although he, I believe, is one lap down.
Yeah, Adam Brady and Adam Lowe are your cars one lap off the lead, and then showing Maxwell Caldwell.
He's the race leader.
Yep, he's your race leader. And Todd Merkel being the first car not a lap down, right on the front of this thing.
Well, it's scored so close that it's gonna kind of mess up the service. But Todd Merkel is currently on the lead lap, if so, just barely. Maxwell Caldwell holds on to the race lead. He's got Chris Gutierrez behind him. That Flash Ford Mustang hoping to be as quick as the Flash. Tyler Melton getting back here as well. He's trying to make something happen. So is his internet. And then Chase Dixon just behind him. Mark Brown. Mark is up 20 spots from where he started this race. All the way back in 25th position.
That's tremendous.
We have had a few multi-car accidents, but we haven't had what we would consider to be the big one. These guys
everything remained a little bit isolated.
Ooh. These guys playing relatively nice. A little bit of action towards the back. You see that PPG car down on the bottom. Getting shuffled out. Here comes some of the leaders into the pits. Big time lock up there out of Austin Call. Samuel Litchfield might have tried to come in and missed his entry point. But either way, I think he's lost the draft to Chase Dixon and the guys in front of him.
It's a sinking feeling.
It is. I honestly think he's just got to come in and hope that he can lose little enough time to the guys who've already come in.
Yeah, if he gets a really good pit road entry, he might end up being able to catch them on the next time by.
So that group comes in as soon as the window opens. These guys are going to stay out probably as long as they can. Hoping for that caution. Hoping that they aren't the caution, trying to get Todd Merkel back onto the lead lap. At least Maxwell Caldwell is. I don't know that any of the other three are on the same agenda.
Well, the other thing that might be in play is Todd Merkel might be doing Maxwell Caldwell a solid by saying, hey, you know what, stay behind me and save fuel so that you don't have to pit until later. And worst case scenario, if you don't get that caution, Todd Merkel kind of gets hung out to dry as far as burning up a lot more fuel.
Well, I would say these guys are saving fuel as here comes Chase Dixon from fourth place rather. He's going to come in and get his set of fuel to the end. I keep saying to the end, but I don't know. I feel like that window doesn't open till 58. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is it possible that some of these guys will have to stay out or have to make a pit stop in the last 5 laps?
You know, you would hope not, but it's very possible that we're going to see another round of pit stops.
Tyler Melton in the Quaker State 23 machine has run the fastest lap of this race. He breaks underneath the 46-second barrier into the 45s. He's got a 45.96. Samuel Litchfield just behind him in terms of lap time, far behind him on the racetrack with a 45.99. Those are the only 2 drivers to break into that 45-second bracket so far. Maxwell Caldwell with a 46 flat. Andrew Polishi 46.01, and these guys getting side by side down the front stretch as they all come together. Crash!
Oh
Austin
no!
Call gets turned around.
Will it stay green?
He's off the racing surface. iRacing should not throw a caution. However, the league may have their own rules. We stay green for the time being. Maxwell Caldwell comes around the race leader. just coming around the scene of the accident.
Yeah, that is a tough break for the 18 team.
It really is. They ran so strong all day. Get a look at what happened there, but I think these guys are just entering the window of where it's possible to make it to the end on fuel.
Looks like Samuel Litchfield is in. Oh my goodness.
Got it a little bit late there. Moves down to the bottom of Thiel.
Oh, man.
It's kind of a bad coming together. Not a lot of damage to the 18, but Austin Call looks to have jumped to the pits and potentially given up on the day. 20 laps to go when they come across the stripe this next time around. 3 cars in the lead draft here. Andrew Polishi sits in 4th place, having already made a pit stop. Being pushed by Justin Lewis, Trevor Dalton comes into the pits. And the major question is, can these guys who pitted on lap 53 make it to the end? We know the top 3 will be good after their pit stop. Here comes Todd Merkel in all by himself. An interesting strategy there. So now it is the top 3 who stay out. With 20.
Yeah, that may have been that Todd Merkel burned up so much fuel being on the front of that he couldn't even make it to 20 laps or so.
No, but these guys have Andrew McKenzie and Samuel Litchfield just in front of them. They could be able to get a little bit of a toe off of them and continue that.
They certainly will,
for as long as they stay out. Question is, how long do they stay out? And it looks like this time
here they come.
Big lock up there out of the 23. Hopefully he didn't flat spot his tires. So you do not want to take tires on this last stop. You want this to be as quick as possible. In and out, full of fuel. Let's go. Polishi and Lewis working through 3 and 4. I don't know. These guys might be in pretty good shape coming up off of the pit exit here. We'll see. This is way too much. This is way too much speed here for Polishi and Lewis. They're going to take over the race lead through the corner. Big push there, gets the 81 sideways, but before they can even get up onto the racing surface, Tyler Melton, Maxwell Caldwell, Chris Gutierrez lose the race lead. Andrew Polishi takes over with a huge push from Justin Lewis, and now these guys jump up in front trying to get into this next pack's draft. So we see how many cars here. There's probably 10 or 12 cars here. That's going to really have a big effect closing in on those leaders, especially with the first. Oh, problems up into the wall. Adam Lowe goes around. Caldwell might have gotten it there. I mean, no caution yet. They got it back straight quick enough. iRacing didn't register it. The 2 is damaged on the track. Adam Lowe is damaged on the track. And the 73 of Mark Brown. That separates these packs quite a bit. We've got the top 2. Then we've got Ronnie Hurst, Eric Talmadge, Joshua Yarborough, and Joseph Klein. Then we go back to Carlos Thiel, Chris Gutierrez, Tyler Melton, Chase Dixon, Sam Maddox. Maxwell Caldwell recovers here in 12th, although I can't imagine he's going to view that as much of a recovery.
What a tough break.
Ronnie Hurst making big gains here on the top two. We'll see if he takes this run straight to the outside. He's got a push from the 95 Napa Auto Parts Chevy Camaro of Eric Talmadge.
Now, when Herbst gets there, is he gonna stay behind and save some fuel? That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
Knowing that those cars ahead of you pit more recently.
Well, Polisi and Lewis, they pit on the same lap. They just had a massive gap.
Did.
The three drivers
You
who
are
pitted
correct.
way later were Tyler Melton, Chris Gutierrez, and Maxwell Caldwell. However, they've got themselves separated from each other. 6 cars in this lead draft with 16 laps to go. Have we seen our final pit stops? Will the guys up in the top 6 be able to make it? We'll find out, but we're going to step side by side one more time. Back live here. Problems as the 0-1 gets turned sideways and the caution is going to come out. Around goes Carolus Steele into turn number 3. And with 14 to go, the 4th caution of the race is out, and this changes everything in terms of strategy.
Everyone's going to be coming down pit road, and you'll probably see everyone taking tires as well as fuel.
It's certainly possible. Adam Brady got a piece of that as well. That should put Todd Merkel back onto the lead lap. I might be incorrect on that. We'll keep you updated here, but contact going into turn number 3 puts us under yellow flag for the 4th time. Let's take a look, see what happened here. Caldwell moves down to the bottom, and they get 3 wide, and there was a hole there for Brady for a moment, and it just closed up right when he was getting his nose in there, and well, we've seen that a time or two.
If Dennis Kane was not involved in that, I think we're gonna see him. Oh, it looks like maybe he's gonna get a wave around or the lucky dog. I'm not sure how the rules stand here.
Yeah, so Brady's just trying to fit into a hole between the 2 and 0-1. And Some
Man,
might argue
that
the hole
just
wasn't there. Some might say it closed up too quick. But either way, that created a contact that sent a couple of cars into the outside wall.
finding yourself in that position. It's so difficult to make a choice.
Pit stops. Almost everybody comes in, but Maxwell Caldwell, Tyler Melton stay out. Todd Merkel is the first driver behind them, who I believe Dennis Kane may have already been given the free pass. Yes, as he has moved around the pace car, working the back straightaway. Dennis Kane is your free pass driver. But you know who that caution helped out? I'd say the 12 of Samuel Litchfield. Lost the draft after the potential miscommunication with the pit stops.
Yes.
Now he's able to get right back up in here. Didn't lose a lap. No, he had a buddy rooting for him in the chat. Anybody who's tuning in, let us know who your favorite driver is. Who do you want to see take home the checkered flag? We've got a lot of action here coming your way in these last 10 to 12 laps. We want to know who you are rooting for. And if you guys like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a race. Things are picking back up with the racing season. We're going to be back to 7 nights a week very shortly here, if not 6. And if you guys like what you see on the racetrack, the SCL, I'd like to have you. Got a link in the chat or in the description here for you guys if you want to give them a look on iRacing. One of the more fun leagues that I think I get to call. These guys in the Western States Racing League are generally a blast. You get a lot of clean racing. I mean, we just had almost 50 laps there on a green flag run.
Yeah, that was pretty tremendous. Number of green flag pit stops.
There's a lot of talent in this field, but
Oh, a ton.
don't let that scare you. We'd still love to have you. As the field gets doubled up once again. Gonna be 10 laps to go at the restart. Do you think they make it all 10, or do you think that safety car is gonna come out and lead a couple more?
You know, Liam, I'm not quite sure. It depends. I wish I could be the mind inside of some of these helmets to know what people are thinking as far as their approach. We could see it go green, but I feel like there's gonna be one more.
I think you're right. I think this is the first restart these guys have had in 40 laps. I think it's entirely possible that the aggression levels just go straight through the roof. You might see guys making moves that they haven't made all race. That being said, a lot of these guys are very familiar with each other. So they might know what to expect out of each other, and that could potentially bring us some incredibly exciting moments and some almost cautions that don't end up putting a slowdown to this race.
Yeah, that's one of the big things about running with the same people for a long time. Is just knowing what to expect when you're around them. And it makes for some really exciting racing.
Definitely does, and no better place to win, no more prestigious in these stock cars than Daytona. With 10 laps to go, 25 miles, these guys are going to be all out. Pace truck makes that hard left turn once again. Green flag is out. Caldwell leads him down. Big push from Polishi. Little bit of a side draft attempt from the 23 on the outside. He's going to slow down that 94, but no help behind him as Justin Lewis just now gets to the rear bumper. Things heating up in a hurry down the back straightaway. 81 fireballing his way into the back of that 94, trying to shove him in front of the 23. Contact gonna be made into turn 3. Big save there by Caldwell in the 94, but it allows the 23 of Melton to take over the race lead, and here comes Justin Lewis in to fill that gap. Big shot to the race leader of Melton, and those three that worked together so well under those green flag conditions are now bumper to bumper to bumper again, albeit a little bit of separation. Look at Sam Maddox up on the outside. He went from upside down to in the top 5. He's got himself a nice shove from Klein behind him as Polishi tries to get something going off the front bumper of that 24 machine. And Mobile 1 doing a good job down on the back straightaway, getting that 81 closer and closer to the lead 3. When he gets there, where do they go? A lot of separation here. He goes straight to the top. They're 3 by 3 behind him. Tyler Melton moves up to block. Tyler Melton gets turned into the wall. Justin Lewis is around as well. This is going to be it. The big one here. The whole pack had nowhere to go. The caution hadn't come out because nobody had gotten fully sideways. And that was just kind of a... what do you do? I mean, everybody was checking up for sure, but that caution took forever to come out simply because people weren't all the way sideways. That's the downside of this talent. When guys save the car, even after bouncing it off of the wall.
That looks like Andrew Polishi's broken.
Not high above. So Lewis is going to move up to the top here. Polishi's got a big run. Melton moves up to block, and Lewis and the 24 make contact. Klein gets a piece of it. A lot of guys piling in. Polishi gets a huge hit to the outside wall after.
That's a really tough break for a lot of drivers right there.
Yeah, we'll try to get another angle here from up above on the spotter's stand. Everybody just getting aggressive here at the front of the field, and a couple of pinches where there wasn't any space.
Yeah, Tyler Melton, I'm not even so sure that he went to block as much as the car just wanted to move up the racetrack still.
And that is entirely possible. I mean, I do sometimes forget how aero dependent these cars are. You make a little move and it puts air on a different spot. The car could shift in a way you're not expecting. iRacing's done a really good job of replicating how the air works in these cars, almost to a fault when it comes down to the side drafting. It can get frustrating.
Yeah, I know from experience, if a car gets on the corner of you just the right way and takes the air off of you, you can start walking the car up the track without even realizing it.
And that is another thing that makes following and pushing in these cars so difficult, because you can't see through the car in front of you. You can't hardly see anything that's going on in front of you. So when you have that going on, the car in front starts to drift up. They start to deal with some aero stuff from what's going on in front of them. Sometimes you have no choice but to pile in. Well, while we have a moment here under what could be the final caution of the day, we're going to step side by side, pay some more bills, and be right back with an amazing finish here at Daytona. 6 laps to go here at Daytona. Got to be 5 when we take the restart. A lot of antsy drivers here. Going to be some hungry drivers. We should be, looks like we're restarting single file once again.
Yeah, single file restart with with 6 laps to go is going to be really tense, really exciting. And if I'm being honest with you, Liam, I think going single file, the amount of aggression, we might just see one more caution.
It's certainly possible. I mean, like I said, a lot of these guys have seen each other before. They've raced with each other in these situations before, but at the same time, you're racing for a win at Daytona. There is also $10 on the line, but, you know, I think a lot of these guys, they look at that and they're just like, I'd rather just have the bragging rights. Don't get me wrong, $10 is $10. And a win is a win.
I think that win is the only thing on the mind.
Pace truck getting ready to make that hard left turn once again. Single file these drivers are for the SCL Winston Cup Series season number 40 opener at Daytona. Green flag back in the air. Maxwell Caldwell in the lead over Trevor Dalton, Sam Maddox, Chris Gutierrez, and Joshua Yarborough. Justin Lewis already making a move up to the top side, trying to make something happen. Two separate packs already, one being led by a lapped car, I believe, there. And up towards the front, Dennis Kane making a good run up on the top side. He's got help from the 0-1 of Carolus Thiel. A couple of drivers caught up in some earlier contact, trying to make something happen on the outside. Here comes one more. So Chris Gutierrez says, hey, let's make this a party. So now these guys are side by side for third place. The top two, tandem drafting, trying to get away. A lot of shuffling here, getting into one, Colin.
There's a lot of action going on right now, and amazing skill to keep these cars all pointed in the same direction. Oh, big bump gone wrong.
Around goes Justin Lewis down the back straightaway. He's going to hit the inside wall along with Sam Maddox. Off the racing surface, so no caution yet. 4 laps to go, coming to 3 to go, and the top two have got almost a second in front of Dennis Kane, Samuel Litchfield. Oh, more crashing coming up off of turn number 4.
They're wrecking.
Around goes Joshua Yarborough, gets a piece of that. Around goes the 83 and 73. Caution is out, and we are headed to overtime.
Oh, my goodness.
Roddy Hurst with the last second shot there. See if we can go back and see where it all took place down the back straightaway. You see some big bumps there in the first three cars on the outside. Kane gets a little loose. Oh. So it looked like 22 got put up into the wall. Gutierrez did. Came back down. That's what got the 7 squirrely. So yeah, Kane's going to get a shove. It's going to get him loose, and it's going to put the 22 the wrong way.
Oh, Kane got it. Man. Everybody got a lot of hard licks there.
See what I was a little bit behind this potentially. 83 was the first driver I saw get turned around. A lot of contact there coming up off of turn 4. Just beating, banging, bouncing off each other. Brady got a piece of it. Merkel might have squeaked through, and then Ronnie Hurst just last second. Major impact. I think Melton got into the back of Klein, got him up into the wall, and there was just a whole heck of a lot of reaction to that.
That's the kind of thing that you can see happen after there's a big checkup. That the cars behind just have a huge run on the cars that checked up, and they want to get around. Sometimes you can't find a way through.
Well, an update on our chat. This racing action has been amazing. Been tough to look away. But Tylen Trammell says, spotting Tyler Melton. So, Litchfield going to look like Earnhardt out there, says Buck Duck. Keegan Osler says 81. Buck Duck back to the 12. So, Palishi's got some fans. Tyler Melton, he's got a fan out there. 12 of Litchfield also with a supporter in the chat. We love to see it. We love to see you guys letting us know who's your favorite. We've got 2 more green flag laps coming our way. NASCAR overtime. Maxwell Caldwell going to be able to hold on. Is Trevor Dalton going to be able to make a run for the lead? Could Dennis Kane potentially get himself from last to first? Or could Samuel Litchfield steal one away from these series regulars? Thiel is up in 5th place as well. That would definitely be an upset. Andrew Palishi hoping to go from 6th to 1st here on this final restart. And Tyler Melton. We know we've got his spotter in the chat. He's going to be trying to get something done here tonight. Try to get that checkered flag from Daytona. Eric Talmadge, Sam Maddox back in the top 10. Chris Gutierrez, albeit maybe with a little bit of damage. These guys back up in the top 10, knowing anything is possible here at Daytona.
You always got to stick with it.
Still trying to get some of his damage repaired. He is out of the pits. Trying to catch back up to this field. I believe Justin Lewis is the last car on the lead lap. So we'll see if he's able to take advantage of that. With just 5 miles of green flag racing to go. And of course, the overtime rules. If the caution comes out before the white flag, we should be trying it again. I believe we get 3 attempts at the green-white checker. However, if that white flag comes out, crash or no crash, the yellow flag isn't coming out. This is not NASCAR. We are not going to throw the caution 100 yards from the finish line. If we make that white flag, it's... all bets are off. So Maxwell Caldwell takes the outside. Going to try to get in front of Trevor Dalton, potentially. Pace truck makes that hard left turn. One potentially final time. Green flag back in the air. It looks like that 94 is going to be able to jump down just the way he wants to. As a matter of fact, the 27 moves up. Belishi's going to get caught up in there as well. The top 3, top 4. Single file. I gotta say, I was expecting a bit more of a run up front, but top 2 get together. They're side by side, just outside of the top 4. Oh, problems already! Behind. Around goes Melton. Caution comes out once again. Tyler Melton with damage down the back straightaway got turned into the outside wall. back and see if we can see exactly what happened there. Apologies there for poor screen grab, but looks like he got a bump, got shoved down into the inside, into the 95, and turned to the outside wall.
Yeah, it wasn't anything he did wrong.
I would like to apologize. That was our only attempt. So Maxwell Caldwell has taken the white flag. Take another look from high above. A bump gets him turned down to the inside. He bounces back up. Nobody else really collected up in it. Well, we just missed him crossing the line, but Maxwell Caldwell takes the checkered flag under caution to win the Season 40 SCL Winston Cup Series opener. Maxwell Caldwell wins over Trevor Dalton, and I believe Sam Litchfield got third place. Might have been Polishi there. We'll have to take a double check here at the scoring. The results are in for the race. Maxwell Caldwell, Trevor Dalton, and Samuel Litchfield are our podium drivers here today. Fantastic drive out of Maxwell Caldwell. We saw him up front. We saw him in the back. We saw him sideways a couple of times. He's able to get the job done here. So we'll talk with our podium in just one moment here. All right, back live, and it doesn't seem like Samuel Litchfield's microphone is going to be able to work.
Coming to the line, I pulled up to take the picture, and the 12 hit the brakes, slowed down, so I passed him coming to the line. I got a black flag.
But Maxwell Caldwell gets to burn it down here. I'll go ahead and try to get with Sam, see if we can get any words with him.
For the finish, Joshua.
Hey, Sam, I see you got mic issues, but it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sam, we got you. Congratulations on your podium finish here tonight. You had a fan in the chat as well, and it seemed like you had some support here. So what was it like racing with these guys, and how did you get that third place done?
You know, I'm doing my thing. I felt like I was kind of a villain. Some guy was yelling at me for side drafting, but I'm up in third and he's not, so I'm just doing my thing.
Well, you had yourself a really nice run, especially with the green flag pit stops. No mistakes there. What does it take to get a green flag stop done here at Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got effed up in the pits. I wasn't trying to pit, but some guy came up ahead of me, so I got left out.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Well, you come home with third. These guys are going to be doing this for the next 5 weeks. We think we'll see you again next week. Oh, I didn't hit the button. Well, awesome stuff, man. These guys are going to be doing this for the next 5 weeks. Same time, same place. You think we'll see you again?
Yes, sir, bro. I'll try my best. I'm in the middle of moving right now, so I don't know about next Sunday, but I'll think I'll be there for Talladega, Michigan, stuff like that.
Awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on your run. We'll hopefully see you again.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for hosting, guys.
All right. Now we'll go ahead and get with Trevor Dalton. Take another look as these guys came across the start-finish line. We'll go ahead and bring Trevor up in here. Hey, Trevor, it's Liam and Colin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Well, hello.
Hey, man, you and the 94 on that restart, you had a plan to get together, and it wound up being the perfect plan. You guys kind of locked down the top 4 spots as everybody single-filed up behind you, and then caution comes out. Walk us through, I mean, what does it mean to you to be able to help out and get a second place here at Daytona and have your plan work?
Well, it means a whole lot less than a first place. But I'm not historically known for being able to be at the end of these, so just finishing at Daytona is pretty cool. Help out Max get that win. That was pretty cool. Was the middle of the race was pretty good. It was neat to see some new faces, and hopefully we get some of them back. Yeah, it was a pretty fun race.
Yeah, we saw you kind of have to overcome some adversity at the beginning of the race. Obviously, you started towards the back of the pack, and I think you got caught up in one of those early cautions. But what was it like racing back through the field here at Daytona? It seemed like it got a bit more spread out, especially with those green flag pit stops.
Yeah, the first pit stop I had to go in twice because my spotter got turned off somehow. Thank you, children. And so I had to come in and get that turned on, and then the second pit stop I took 2 stupidly and lost our pack. So then I was just kind of on my heels all night and got really lucky with that caution flag to stay on the lead lap.
Well, you threw together a great race. I'm sure you passed more cars than almost anybody else out here tonight. A couple of mistakes and being able to get back up to the front. Well, are you excited for next week? We got ourselves a little bit different style of racing at Chicagoland.
I like Chicago. That's a fun track. So yeah, I am excited, and hopefully we get a good showing of people out there. It's a great league to any of the guys. Still hanging out. This is a really good league. Not a lot of there was fighting tonight. There's usually not a lot of fighting. It's something that's probably going to be need to be addressed. But this is a really good chill league with some really talented drivers and very competitive.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Anytime I've been able to be up in the booth watching you guys, it blows my mind how close you race and how much you don't crash. So props to you and the rest of the league for that. And thanks for joining us up here, Trevor. Second place this week. Hoping for a win next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys in the booth. Thank you, SCL, for putting these on, and we'll see you next week.
All right. We'll go and bring in our race winner. Colin, you want to take care of that? We could tag team it.
Be
if you
happy
want.
to. Maxwell Caldwell, it's Liam and Colin in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing with that race win? Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Feels good to open up this little recruiting season with a win. Been racing with SCL for a few seasons now, and they've not quite went the way they needed to go. And toward the end of the last season, really started getting our mojo back. New wheel, new pedals kind of helped a lot. So it's nice to come out, especially at a plate race, get a good start to the season like this. But also, the biggest thing out of tonight is I'm super glad to see all kinds of new faces that showed up. We're using these 6 races to really get some people to join the league, where we had been running 12 to 15 car fields, and tonight we had almost 30. Like, that was so encouraging to see. So, great race, too, I thought.
Yeah, it was a really fun one for us in the booth, and it looked like you and Trevor Dalton had something sorted out before the last restart, that you were going to work together and make that happen, so...
Unintentionally, actually, we didn't. So, he is a teammate of ours, but we were just going to race it to the end. I had Andrew Paleschi 2 cars behind me, and I had the guy behind me messaging saying he was going to go ahead and push to the end, so I was going to run that outside lane. But when I saw the jump that I got, I knew I didn't need to let Trevor get on my inside, and also, I knew if I got in front of Trevor, he would push at least till the last lap. So, it looked like a great trick. It's what I was initially going to do, but... during the caution, we decided against it, and it just somehow still worked out that way. So, kind of funny how stuff happens.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you in the end. Anybody want to shout out, thank for getting you here tonight?
Absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because, man, He has allowed me to be able to meet all these amazing people in the league and run with them the last couple years. Get to have some great races and some frustrating races, but make great friendships along the way. Like, the one thing that keeps me in this league is the friendships you make with all these different drivers. So, the faithful few that we had last season and going into this season, man, they're awesome guys to race with, talk with, hang out with. And it's even led to running, some different stuff on different nights with them. So, thankful for the blessing God's given me to be able to run here. And got to thank Merkel Racing Engines for being on the hood. Man, Todd Merkel has sponsored this machine, I think, since I came into SCL. And with him on the hood, we've had 3 championships and multiple race wins. So, always thankful for his support of the team. And this paint job's been the old one we've ran for a while now. Anytime I changed it up, we had bad luck. So, reverted back to the original, and it's kind of coming back. So, it's glad to have him on the hood and represent him. And then just my teammates, Andrew Paleschi, Justin Lewis, Austin Call, Trevor Dalton, Todd. Had a great run just getting to hang out with them tonight and just have some fun with these new guys. And thankful for the league, and then thankful for you guys broadcasting. I know it's not an easy job, but man, y'all make it look real easy. So glad to have y'all on board for another season, and look forward to the way the next 5 races play out.
I tell you what, when you guys race the way you do, you make it easy for us. You guys are incredible out there. And, well, we appreciate you joining us here. Congrats again on the win, and we can't wait to see what you do next week in Chicago.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, guys.
Well, that's going to just about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We'll go ahead and give you the results of the race. An incredible showing here at Daytona. A lot of new faces here tonight. A lot of action, but not a lot of chaos. As Maxwell Caldwell takes home the win over Trevor Dalton. Samuel Litchfield gets 3rd place. Dennis Kane, Carolus Steele round out your top 5. We've got Eric Talmadge, Sam Maddox, Chris Gutierrez, Joshua Yarborough, Justin Lewis. Sorry, Joshua Yarborough was 10th place. Justin Lewis 11th. Andrew McKenzie, Tyler Melton, Joseph Klein, Chase Dixon, Brandon Cournoyer, Ronnie Hurst, Daniel Holdcroft, Todd Merkel, Adam Brady, Mark Brown, Jason Crumley, Adam Lowe, and Austin Call, Corey Bragg, and Logan Gill round out the drivers here that started the field. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media. It has been a blast to be able to call this race for you guys, and Colin, can't thank you enough for hanging out here for this one. It's always a good time with these SCL boys.
Liam, thank you for having me. I was stoked going into this one, and it did not disappoint.
Well, you can find us next week. Same time, same place, 8:30 Eastern, live for Chicagoland. SCL is ready to take on a 1.5 mile, an abrasive one at that. Be ready for some comers and goers and some really, really close racing action. But for now, I'm Liam Irvig, joined by Colin McDonough. And before we let you go, just always that friendly reminder, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Take it easy, folks.